Hello guys, good morning. Coffee? Where's my bag? Oh, let's give it up. Right, people. Right. Solar eclipse. What I feel it means, sorry, I'm a bit OCD if you noticed. I was fidgeting around, don't I? Anyway, yeah, solar eclipse. After things have been obscured, and we've been in the emotional, psycho, spiritual, energetic, call it what you will, doldrums for like the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, and everything has felt very, very hard, like a crawling through sludge. Now we're going to start reaping the rewards of that, I reckon. I really do. It's conjunct Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, the planet of monotheistic religion, which is interesting actually, because we have Saturn in the mix, of course, Capricorn, because it's in Capricorn, but conjunct Saturn. Capricorn being Saturn, being the structures of this world, the patriarchy, the Illuminati, the powers that be, and those beyond the powers that be, who control them. Who knows really what's going on in this world, right? We know something is horribly wrong. It's a system buster, is this solar eclipse. And system busters, game changers, always start on the internal plane. They really do. So that's what these last couple of weeks or last couple of days have really been about, people facing our shadow, facing what we have believed ourselves to be, but which we are not. We are not powerless little nothings at all. That is all programming. If you think about it, right, what's been done to us? Wow. How the forces of darkness have literally taken control, stolen this world. They've stolen all the resources of this world. They've stolen all the lands. They've stolen just everything. The water. They've stolen the water, they've stolen the land, they've stolen everything. They then said to us that, well, what, you think the world owes you something, do you? Or things like, I want doesn't get. Bet you've heard your grandmothers tell you that, or you know, whatever, older people used to say that. Well, I want doesn't get, or, well, do you think the world owes you something? You have to work hard and nothing gets handed to you on a silver plate, you know. This is all programming. This is what people come out with because it's programming. And they're actually very traumatized people. They feel like victims. They're full of hate. They're full of rage. But it's all subconscious, so they're not aware of it. So they just repeat verbatim the programming. And all of that is programming at the end of the day. I was told all of that when I was a child. And I was told it not just once, but many, many, many times. Things like children should be seen and not heard. How the fuck do people think they're going to do that whilst they're having a baby? It's like, oh, I don't like this one. It makes noise. Can I take it back? Right, I'm going to get onto eBay now. Right, I bought this baby on eBay, right, and it's keeping... you told me it wasn't going to make any noise, but it bloody does. It makes noise all the time. I can't sleep. I want money back, right? Fuck's sake. eBay. It's just not what it used to be. You know, that sort of thing. Anyway... it's all bullshit, people. They've taken all the resources, they've taken it all, and then they've told us that we're so worthless that we don't deserve to exist, and we have to prove that we deserve to exist by working hard. And working very hard for this substance called money that they have created. It's in and of itself absolutely valueless. It's not made of gold, it's not made of diamonds, it's paper and useless metal. And even gold and diamonds are in and of themselves neither here nor there. They just are. They just are, yes? The only reason they're given value is because they decree it so. There's shitloads of diamonds in the world, yes, yeah, they're very, very expensive. Usually something is very expensive and it's rare. Diamonds aren't rare, not at all. It's all bullshit. So there we are, working all hours God sends to earn that thing called money, so that we may then buy the things that we actually need to survive, people. Yes, like water, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare. We'll get to that in a minute. Very interesting, because those things exist, right? Those needs should be met naturally. There should be no questions asked about that whatsoever. Those needs should be met intrinsically. They're basic necessities, and they are basic human rights, therefore, you see. But of course we live in a fallen world. We live in a fallen world where we are constantly struggling, and that, I think, is why it's all become like this in the first place. It's no longer a case, well, how I remember it being, but anyway, that's another story actually. It's no longer the case of, I love that place. Oh, but I have to go to the airport, I have to show them my passport, I have to get on a plane, sit on the plane for 6 hours, get off the plane, not being able to feel my ass for 2 hours, get in a taxi, and then eventually I'll get there. I can stay there for a week and then I have to come back because I need to go back to work. It used to be, oh, we've created another sphere of great beauty. Let's go there, and boom, we are there. This is how it used to be. Can you hear that wind, people? It's clearing out all the shit. Good. See, so because we live in a fallen realm, trees have to be cut down to build houses. People have to dig shit into the earth to get things out. Everything feeds on everything else. It's a parasitical system. Animals have to hunt, kill and eat each other. And we're all sick. Everybody is sick. A baby, a newly born baby's body is full of pathogens and bacteria and viruses that lie dormant but are there nevertheless. Because that baby is born bearing all that negative resonance from its ancestors. Oh boy. But of course what happens at that point is the true self, the soul, your soul, merges with the consciousness of that personage that is being born, i.e. me, Annika, say. It's very strange because it's almost like schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, but it isn't really. I'll talk about this more in the future at some point because I had a vision about it, but I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet today. It is your sentinel. It is our sentinel. It's our true self, but we are never really truly here at all. Anyway, so yeah, this is the kind of world that we live in, where everything has been misappropriated, stolen. We have been deprived, and not just of materially speaking the things we need to survive, but also in a spiritual sense. We have been deprived of compassion, we have been deprived of empathy, we've been deprived of love, we've been deprived of creativity, we've been deprived of communion with one another, because humanity is highly suspicious of one another. I talked about this before. You speak to somebody at a bus stop and it's like, who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me? Well, not necessarily that strong. And sometimes it does work out. Sometimes people are really nice as well. You know, it has to be said. This is true. It's not all bad and it's not all dark. But having my Pluto in a nice house, I suppose I tend to notice the dark shit quite a lot. It's something that I am very good at. I'm also getting myself more attuned at noticing the good stuff, because it is there that I find my nourishment, as indeed we all do. And so we must learn to see it and give it its due, gratitude and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's appalling. So then, you know, we are all sick and then we get our medications from the powers that be. And I had a really bad backache on the 24th. It was bad. Lower back, it was very bad. Now, I knew it was energetic, because it's absolutely fine now. But it was so bad that in the end I thought, well, I'm just going to take some painkillers. And so I got 2 painkillers of someone I know, it has some codeine in, it made me feel really, not good. Upset my stomach a great deal. And that did absolutely nothing for the pain. Which is quite typical, because in the awakening, you get to a level where you can take antidepressants or painkillers or this, that or the other, and it will not work anymore. It will just make you feel like shit, actually, because your energy is changed. I hear there's a lot of talk about something called the light body. Now, as you know, I don't do mainstream, and when everybody's talking about something, I tend to think, okay, people, I will put that notion over there and I will let it sit there until I get an insight about it, if ever indeed I do. If I don't, then so be it. Oh, that's interesting. Cool car. But the light body, something about it does resonate with me. It's been on the periphery of my being for years, but it does resonate with me. I'm not saying that it is exactly like they say it is. No, I don't believe that. It may well be different things for different people. However, I've noticed that my body is going through changes, and I as yet have no proof or evidence that it's actually what I feel it is. But it's as if my bones are loosening up. It's as if my whole body has been in a very... because I see an osteopath, Kieran, he's lovely. He's very good at his job. And he said, it's as if your body is loosening up. You've been very tight. Everything has been very, very tight. And now it's loosening up. And I thought, yeah, that's about right. I've spoken about true well-being, which as yet does not exist in this world as far as I'm aware of, because in this world we only know what it's like to live in the fallen world and what goes for good health in the fallen world. And what goes for good health in a fallen world is not good health. It's not even a facsimile of it at all. True well-being, true health is something that may well be something called the light body. I would certainly call it that. I see it in my mind's eye as crystalline, somewhat shiny. And I see all these little points of light going push, 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 everywhere. And I see that quite often. And a lot of us are having symptoms as well. There's a lot of weird symptoms going on, like headaches, body temperature fluctuating, tinnitus, a lot of that. Because I think what we're going through here as soul travelers, as soul awakening people, obviously we are becoming more and more awake and see what this world really is and what's been done to us, how everything has been taken from us, how we've been made to feel like and how we've been completely mind controlled, and that mind control is disappearing. Like I said, the veils are beginning to be removed and moved and moved and moved. We are doing that ourselves, our true selves doing that. And as that happens, we become more intelligent and we do begin to heal. But whilst we're going through the clearing, it takes its toll on the body. We have temporary manifestations of disease. That is what I feel. Before, miraculous, well, it's not miraculous or magical, but we would call it that because we live in a fallen world and it's all we've known. So when something outside normal happens, we call it miraculous and magical, when in fact it's actually normal and natural. But these things will happen, I feel. These things will start to manifest for some of us, and then for some of us later, because we're not all at the same level as yet. Some of us are still a bit further back, some of us perhaps a bit further ahead. I don't really know where I am. But yeah, something is going to start manifesting. Health, mental health, and things on a material plane that will enable us to do our sacred work, because we definitely are here to do something. I know that. And so that will start to become clearer to us, I feel. I really do. So yeah, light body. Again, you know, whatever the New Age movement or derivatives thereof say, take it with a massive, well, I don't know, about 25 kilos of salt. It's a bit like that bloody Greta Thunberg, or I call it Greta Thunderberg, as in Thunderbirds are go! You know, what a fucking load of bullshit. And that's sort of very similar to the New Age movements, and people that don't really think for themselves are taken in by this crap. But let us not forget, what is that carbon fibre? And she's in that boat, isn't she? MK Ultra's finest, Greta Thunberg, sailing around in a carbon fibre boat. And carbon fibre is very, very toxic. It's a very toxic substance. Bloody hell. There is a factory down the road from here where they make boats out of said substance for rich Saudis, and people have to have bodysuits, protective gear over their faces and everything. It's that toxic. It's unbelievable. Her mother was going to all these weird Illuminati-esque parties and whatnot. We all know what's going on there. It's a mad world, and it's difficult when we are surrounded by people who just haven't got a clue. It's so heavily mind controlled, mass consciousness. Very, very difficult. But our work will become clearer to us, and I really feel with all my heart that it's not about waking people up at all. It's not about saying, oh, Greta Thunberg is lying, you know, she's full of shit. People won't believe you, and they'll just get upset, so don't bother doing that at all. I feel that everything we need, we will receive. Yes. Sometimes that means a catalyst, which at first will feel a bit like the tower in the tarot, where your whole life just falls apart, or your material or physical being is seemingly under threat. And you think, oh my god, I'm fucked, I'm so fucked. But it will turn out that it happens as a catalyst to bring up all the crap from within you. And it's happening for a healing purpose, very much. But then for some of us, we've already been doing that for a very long time, and hopefully we'll start to emerge into our power. The power of our Sentinel, which is our true self, which is a being, oh wow, so powerful, yet there is no, call it false ego, it has no shadow. It's incredible. I've seen it, and it was like, oh, and then it was like, yeah, that's you, that's you. It's a bridge between two worlds. All kinds of weird stuff has been happening, and I've had visions and stuff, and like I said, I mean, I'm not really, I need to get my shit together with regards to that, and I'll do a video about it, but it was incredible. And suffice it to say that people, we are not what we thought we were, not at all. It's all a complete lie. It's such a lie, people. It really is. We are incredible, amazing beings, and all of this shit is a temporary thing. Fear not, I've seen it, and it will truly work out. I just have this feeling about 2020, and I mean, I could be wrong, you know, my intuition isn't 100% foolproof. No, I mean, I have been known to be wrong, but not that often, not very often. So anyway, so I drew a card for us just because I felt like it, and I thought, why the hell not, right? And it is called, God, just a minute, people. I can't see a damn thing. It says, the impossible is made possible. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? The impossible made possible. And a second card, from nothing to everything. And And I think that's very good news, because a lot of us have had virtually nothing, and all we've known is, well, impossible, isn't it, people? So I'm just going to read this out for you, but for you people, I'm just going to read these bits. Please don't look, avert your eyes. I'm going to start looking very, very silly now. Don't look, don't look. It says, now, I'm just going to read it to you, but like me, don't read it, don't take it on verbatim. These cards can be a little bit new agey, so I tend to kind of look beyond, if you know what I mean, okay? So, we only limit what we believe to be possible by our lack of imagination. But our lack of imagination is due to severe trauma and trauma-based consciousness manipulation, of course. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm not even going to bother reading this at all, because it just would it suffice it to say, you know, the impossible made possible, and from nothing to everything. What this means, people, is that we are going to go beyond the boxes. We've gone from a tiny box, mass consciousness, I am worthless, I don't even deserve to exist, to a slightly bigger box, and a slightly bigger box, and a slightly bigger box, and a very big box. And then all of a sudden we go beyond the boxes altogether, right? We are going to see and know and experience our true self, the Sentinel, in all its glory and all its power. And boy, it is powerful. It's beyond imagination. Now that part of us, which actually that is all of us, once the dark side, our shadow has been healed and it's all been merged, i.e. the bridge between two worlds has merged and all is one, it will stream forth and it will create things that we thought were not possible in terms of health, in terms of well-being, in terms of communion with other people, in terms of this world. It is about reset. All we've known is limitation. We've known asinine, cruel, imposed limitation, imposed trauma, abuse, gaslighting, just beyond belief. We've been through it all in this virtual reality. This is the opposite of that. This is the reclaiming of everything we thought we had lost, people, and I can feel it. It's not going to happen overnight, I don't think. But those two cards that I just mentioned, they keep coming up again and again and again and again, all the time. Other cards as well that are very powerful, like the Ace of Wands comes up a lot. And we have been born from the fire. We have, haven't we? Yes, people, something is afoot, I can feel it. It's powerful, it's good. It will require us to continue doing the work. To be blatantly honest with ourselves about everything pertaining to our wounding, our behavior, our thoughts, our feelings, and to stand firm in the power of our inner light when it comes to that stuff. So feel it, but don't believe it to be true and go into it and act it out. Then again, we end up doing that anyway, especially at the beginning and probably for quite some time. If that happens, don't worry about it. Actually, it's fine, because I've done that many times. You get through it, you come out of it, you've learned. Then you get to a point where perhaps you don't do that so much anymore. Then you get to a point where you don't do it at all anymore, because your Sentinel is very, very strong. You no longer have to. Because trust and faith are two things that are very, very difficult for us because we're so heavily traumatized. But you see, we somehow gain ground in that sense. We really do. I really have so much, you know, and it's incredible because it's like, oh, I'll never be able to trust again after what's happened to me. We all feel that way. That's why so many people are perennially stuck on the, oh, evil always wins and there's nothing we can do, because it's trauma. Again, it is trauma. It's like, well, that is what we've experienced. Yeah. But things are beginning to shift. Things are beginning to happen, people. God, I'm really blathering onto this today, aren't I, people? Ooh. I just felt like doing a video, you know, whenever I have that feeling that says, go on, do a video, now's the time, then I think, okay, I'll just do a video, because it just feels right. And you know, oh, I had quite a nice night's sleep, and I do like having a good stretch, and I do like having a chat with you people, because that's really what these videos feel like I'm sitting down, I'm just having a chat with people, you know. Because I'm not here to tell anybody anything about anything, because your life is your life, your consciousness is your own, your experience is your own. I'm a big believer in that. It's your quest, your adventure, your experience, and it won't be the same as mine. So there's one thing we're certainly going to be leaving behind, is the one-size-fits-all spirituality, because that is all bullshit. Truly it is. What we are actually dealing with here is something so mysterious and so incredibly multifaceted that mass consciousness has real trouble with it, has hence cognitive dissonance, because it's like, well, no, that can't work, it has to be like that. And it's like, no, not at all, it's like that. It's like, oh, I don't understand, you know, it's like, oh, yeah. But that is it. So, yeah. Let the magic commence. That's all I have to say, people. And I'm going to get going now, because otherwise I'm just going to go on and on and on and bore the tits out of myself and everybody else. Okay?